Welcome back to the voltage sag, to the power quality lecture series. So far we have seen what is voltage sag, causes of voltage sag, and determination of voltage sag, and how to determine and quantify the voltage sag in terms of RMS voltage for full cycle and half cycle. Now today we're going to see how to determine the voltage sag magnitude with the help of in terms of fundamental voltage component and peak value, or you can call peak voltage. So using the fundamental component of the voltage has the advantage that the phase angle jump can be determined in the same way. What is this phase angle? If you will discuss once again in depth. The fundamental voltage component as a function of time may be calculated as the absolute value of this complex voltage is the voltage magnitude as a function of time. Its argument can be used to obtain the phase angle jump. In a similar way, we can obtain the magnitude and phase angle of various harmonic voltage component as a function of time. This is called, or this is so-called time frequency analysis, and it is obtained by applying the DSPs, digital signal processing. A comparison to one cycle RMS voltage for the voltage sag, what we have seen in previous discussion, shows that the behavior of the fundamental components is very similar to the behavior of RMS voltage. So for the fundamental voltage, in mathematical terms, or form, how we represent is fundamental component of fundamental voltage as a function of time is 2 by t, integration of t minus t to t, v of tau, e per j omega t. You know, e per j omega t in terms of sine, we write it as complex voltage. Okay, so omega naught is 2 pi by t, which you know well. And capital T is the one cycle of the fundamental frequency because we are calculating in power frequency components. Now you can check both the graph and comparing this 4.3, that is your one cycle RMS voltage, what we have seen in yesterday's session. And this is the magnitude of fundamental component of by using the fundamental component. We just compare these two. There's not much different, or not even say any difference between this. Both are obviously looking like a same, isn't it? This is the one you're using one cycle RMS voltage, or whereas using fundamental, it isn't having much different. Whereas you can see here, the when magnitude is 1 per unit here, and when the fault is occurring, it's not immediately falling down. There's some one cycle time lag, and voltage is not constant to the sag. And when it is fault is restored, it's not going to 100%. The same thing you can observe in the RMS voltage. This is by using fundamental component. The same thing this is already we have seen in the last session. The same behavior we are able to see. Therefore, either you are using the fundamental component or your RMS voltage is not making any much difference here. So the RMS voltage has advantage that it can be applied easily to the half cycle window. Obtaining the voltage, fundamental voltage from a half cycle window is more complicated. A possible solution is to take half cycle window and to calculate the second half cycle. Okay, so this is the most possible window method. So taking the half cycle and then calculating the remaining half cycle. So for that, what we can write is we know cos of omega t plus phi, because it's obviously the half cycle, where let V1, let Vi, and where I is equal to 1 to n by 2 y, because we are only taking the half cycle. If it would have been full cycle, then it would be 1 to n. Therefore, Vi is the fundamental voltage is obtained by taking Fourier transformation. So what is Vi here? Because it's sinusoidal, we can go for your Fourier series. And when you're applying a Fourier series, we can apply here. Okay, so this algorithm has been applied the voltage sag due to short circuit faults, which we have seen in the first previous session. Okay, resulting in the next figure, what the figure I'm going to show you, that is applied in that algorithm is applied the voltage sag due to short circuit. Okay, the transition from pre-fault to the during the fault is clearly faster when you compare. You can that we can say about this when you see the figure. But what is the assumption that we have taken for this is there is no D voltage components which are available. You can check in this figure. This is the magnitude of fundamental component using the half cycle window. So you can what you can able to see is the transition from pre-normal to fault voltage is less. Whereas if you can compare previous recollect in normal, the time duration when from the instant of fall to this particular 20% is more when compared to this. It's not even it's just only a half, not even half cycle. From here to here it is one cycle, whereas from 1 to 2 is one cycle, whereas the duration from pre-fault to fault is not even one full cycle. Okay, the same thing, but there is not much difference here. After the fault is restored, after the normalization is restored, after the fault is clear, it's not reaching to 100%, but it's only reaching to 90%. Whereas here, the time duration for the topping down of voltage sag, voltage drop from 100% to 20% is much less when compared to your RMS voltage method. Okay. So this is how you are seen by using the RMS voltage, fundamental voltage component. In a similar way, if you're looking to express in terms of peak voltage, so already we have said what I have said is what are the method you choose for calculating or for quantifying this voltage sag. It doesn't make any really much difference. Why? Because the fundamental component or the peak voltage, whatever you decide or whatever the engineer decides to calculate, as long as the nature of the voltage is sinusoidal, it doesn't make any sense. Only it all depends upon the process how you calculate and the calculators or the algorithms what are available to calculate. Okay, so if the algorithm which is already available is with the help of using fundamental components, well and good. And if you are having algorithm with the help of peak voltage, it's also well and good. It's all about what are the available algorithms for you. And if you're starting newly, then it's a different case. You can use anything. But only thing is, either for the both the cases to be applicable for calculation of voltage sag, the only fundamental thing is the voltage behavior should be sinusoidal. As long as the voltage behavior is sinusoidal, doesn't make any really sense and doesn't really need to worry whether you take your fundamental component or power frequency component or peak voltage component. So let us come back to this. So if you're taking your peak voltage, that's obviously between the maximum of V of t minus t, isn't it? Where V of t is the sample voltage waveform and t is the integer multiple of 1/2 cycle, because we can only calculate for the 1/2 cycle and then we can calculate for the remaining half cycle. So in the next figure, what I'm going to see, that is a figure 4.7 for each. Okay, I'll show you 1 minute. I'll just directly show you what you call the figure. It will be easily for you than reading this. This is the figure you can see here. So this is a half cycle as a function of peak voltage. Okay. So for each sample, the maximum of the absolute value of the voltage over the preceding half cycle have been calculated. Okay, that's how we calculate using peak. Okay. What you can see from this figure is this peak voltage shows the sharp drop and sharp rise that you can see here. When you're comparing your RMS, there is slight time delay, but when you're comparing your fundamental component or what you call your RMS, there is a slight decrease in time. Whereas here, this is the instant of fault, and when you're calculating using by your peak voltage, immediately the voltage is dropping down, isn't it? Therefore, the downfall is not having any time lag, but it's immediately it's showing the immediately drop in voltage. Similarly, you can see here after the fault is clear, the voltage is immediately dropping up. We can able to recollect This is not the case. What will happen is, what has happened is, in previous case, after this, there's some slight lag, and then after the fault is cleared, it's not, I think this is somewhat not exactly, but the voltage, once after the initiation of fault here, for example, let us take 1 second. 1 second, guys. I'll just show you. Suppose this is the fault. What will happen is, and it's not actually coming down, it's coming like this. And once the fault is cleared, it's not immediately rising, it's slowly rising, and then it's reaching to your 90% value. So here the difference you can see, this is the area what we are talking about for peak, and this time lag is not available. That's what I said here. When you're comparing this in the using the peak voltage, the peak is having a sharp down and sharp rise. This is what I feel. I mean, this is the fault, sharp down of voltage, and fault is cleared, sharp rise of voltage. Okay, this is what we need to say. I'll just try to compare you. I think this will give a better idea. This is the initiation of fault. You can see this is the time lag. So this is the initiation here, and this is where it is reaching. Whereas here it is this one. So this is the difference where you are able to see. This is called what I mean called sharp down. Whereas here, this is what I mean sharp rise. So this part is not available. So this is what the difference. But rather than that, ultimately, both are giving you the same result. Okay. The only thing is what the method you are following, but remaining it is same. Okay. So tell me what you are seeing. So what is the difference for the fundamental component, and whereas you're using RMS value? Tell me what is the difference you have observed while using your RMS voltage method or RMS for value method or fundamental component method. What is the difference you have seen or you have observed in the waveform analysis? Tell me, guys. Yes, very good. Thank you.